Hi guys, welcome back to the ArchBall podcast. I'm with Morgan, Callum, and we've got our first guest today. We're glad to present, obviously, TikTok's finest. If you're from the UK, you've been on TikTok, you know who this man is. Everyone knows who this man is. We've got Luke Bennett. Luke, how are you, mate?
I'm good, lad, you.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. So obviously our platform, our website, our Twitter, our Instagram, everything's all about the England national team. Obviously, we've had the Euros this summer, so we'll just start off with the first question. What did you think Euro 2020 as a whole, not just England,
Um,
just as a whole?
to be honest, I think it brought everyone back together after obviously the pandemic. I think it brought unity together. People just enjoy themselves as well because obviously we've been locked up for so long, not just here in England, but obviously all across Europe and that as well. And I think it just brought everyone together, and it was a joy. Really, it was nice to see everyone socialising again and enjoying themselves after obviously the difficult year we've all had.
Yeah, I think that was the main thing. I mean, no matter how the team did on the pitch, I think that it was always going to be the case. But obviously, with the team, how well the team did, obviously, really helped. So, what did you think of obviously England's performances at the Euros, and did,
Um,
did we surpass your expectations or not?
yeah. To be honest, I mean, there was a slight in the back of my head thinking we might go all the way because obviously 5 out of our 6 games were at Wembley, so we did have kind of in a way home advantage. But I never thought we would literally get to the Euro final with the squad we had, especially with the teams in there like the Netherlands, France, and obviously a few others as well. But to be honest, the boys did well and they played really well, and I think the help of the crowd as well helped them as well. Obviously, as the tournament progressed, obviously, there's led more and more fans into Wembley. I think that helped the team as well. And it was good, obviously, we only conceded 2 goals to the others as well. We didn't concede till the semi-finals as well. Was unlucky in the final, but it's just one of them. And I'm proud of the boys for getting to the final and doing really well.
Yeah, like you say, it's just one of them on penalties. It's sort of anyone's game, isn't it? Really. And before you mentioned it, bringing everyone together, socialising and stuff. How did you enjoy the games? How did you go out and watch them? What did you do for the games?
Well, the group stage games. So the Croatia game I watched at home because I was in work on the same day, so I watched it at home. Scotland game I went out to a few of my mates and watched that one. The Czech Republic game, I was at home watching that one. Obviously the Germany game, I was on holiday for the Germany game and I was in Wales. So we watched it down there. It was a bit weird because when I was in Wales a couple of days before that, obviously the Welsh got knocked out, so it was a bit
Yeah,
like
bit of a
that.
tense
Um,
atmosphere.
for the Ukraine game, I was actually working for the Ukraine game. It did annoy me a little bit, but I still managed to watch the game. The semi-finals against Denmark, I went out and watched that in the pub again. And after the final, I was down Wembley myself. Didn't actually get a ticket into the stadium, but I went down for the atmosphere and it was unreal. I did put some videos up on all my socials as well, my Instagram mainly, and that of some of the scenes down there. But outside the ground, it was unbelievable before the game. And the result wasn't the best, but the before the game, it was unbelievable. So yeah.
Yeah, it looked really good. Morgan, Cal, got any questions for Luke?
If I
Well,
do actually, everyone knows you're a Wolves fan, right? So would you be upset not to see Connor Cody playing at all?
Say that again, mate.
Because you're a Wolves fan, would you be upset that you didn't get to see Connor Cody play?
Well, I mean, I was a little bit because I think he should have at least got some minutes. But at the end of the day, the boys are out there, they're performing every game, so you can't really change, especially the back line. Now we didn't concede until the semi-finals. You didn't really want to interrupt that too much because they knew their jobs, if you know what I mean. They knew what they was doing. So I was disappointed in a way, but I can understand why he didn't play. But yeah.
And just from me, who was your standout player of the tournament, both for England and just in general?
Probably England. I probably got to go with Sterling. A lot of people are criticising him before the tournament, especially towards the end of the season. He wasn't performing as well, but he did well. Obviously, he got majority of our goals at the tournament, especially in the group stage. Everyone thought Harry Kane was going to show up in the group stage, but it obviously didn't show up to the knockout rounds. It was all Sterling, really. But I would say probably Sterling for England. Overall, that's a tough one. There's a few you could probably say. But I'll probably got to go with Sterling as well, to be honest. I don't know boys towards England, but he performed really well throughout the whole tournament, I thought. Obviously got a few goals in the group stage as well, in the knockout rounds as well. And like I said before, a lot of people criticised him before the tournament, and he proved a lot of doubters wrong.
No, absolutely.
So obviously, go on, Morgan.
It's say for example, who do you think is like your most improved player? So it's a player that started the start of the tournament, didn't start too well, but over the tournament gradually got better.
What, for England or just in general?
Yeah, for England, yeah.
For England, there's a few. I mean, I thought Declan Rice at times. I thought at the start he was a bit shaky, but I thought throughout the tournament he progressed really well. There's probably a few, but I'll probably go with Declan Rice as one. But yeah.
So if you had to pick one, obviously a Wolves fan, if you had to pick one of the England team to go into Wolves' starting 11 for this season, who would you pick and why?
There's a lot I could pick from. Probably there's a few. For one, I'll probably just have to go with Sterling. I mean, I've mentioned Sterling a lot. I'll be honest, I was one of them who was doubting him before the tournament, and he proved me wrong throughout the tournament. And I think just because the way he plays on the pitch, obviously he contributes to goals a lot. He does a lot with City as well. I would love him down Wolves, but realistically, he'll probably never come. So yeah.
Decent. So obviously sticking with football and sticking with Wolves, there's a lot of obviously competition in the Premier League this season with Aston Villa obviously investing a lot. You got the big guns, typical. What do you think of Wolves' chances this season? Where do you think you'll finish?
I mean, obviously, I think it's going to be a bit of a transitional season because obviously we lost Nuno in the summer. That's a big loss really because obviously Nuno's done a lot for us. Also we've got Bruno Lage in now. I don't really know much about him, but from what I've seen, he broke a few records in the Portuguese league. But obviously, the Portuguese league is completely different to the Premier League. There's a few new players coming. Obviously, over the last couple of years, we've lost a few players like Jota and that, who were big players for us. But I'll be happy with a top 10 finish. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to sound too like big-headed and say, "Oh, we're going to push for Europe, we're going to get top 6." I'm going to be realistic. A top 10 finish, I'll be happy with. And then potentially, if we do well, get the right signings in, the team performs together and that. Hopefully, we don't have injuries because I think that's what affected us last season. The reason why we finished, obviously, 12th and that. I think if, obviously, the big one with Jimenez, hopefully, if he can come back to his scoring ways as he did before he had his fractured skull, I do think we can finish in the top 10. So, yeah.
Just for me. Gone. And there's a lot of sort of speculation about Ruben Neves this summer, whether he'll go to a club like Arsenal. What do you think about that? Would you be disappointed to see him go, or do you think it's worth letting him go?
Well, there's a. I've said to a lot of people that I think we need to improve at the back. Well, obviously, we mentioned about Connor Cody earlier. Obviously, he didn't feature in the English squad. I personally do think we need to replace him at Wolves. I don't think he's strong enough at the back. I mean, last season he made a few mistakes, and especially if we want to start moving forwards and in the next couple of seasons push for Europe again, I think we need to replace him. So I think we do need to bring in a centre back. Also, we brought Trincana in. We brought a few others as well, but I do think we need to bring a centre back in. A lot of people ask me, would you bring in? I'm not 100% sure I'd bring in, but I do think we need to strengthen at the back mainly this summer.
Also, what are your opinions on Adama Traore? They seem to be split at the moment. A lot of people rate him highly, and a lot of people don't rate him at all. So what do you think about him?
I mean, when he first come to us, obviously he's had previous when he's been at Villa, Middlesbrough, Barcelona, and that he's been a bit like hit and miss and that. But I think especially not last season, but the season before. I think that was his breakout season with him and Jimenez, the partnership when he used to cross the balls in for Jimenez and he used to head them in and that. And that was his breakout season. A lot of people say, oh, he's just a pace merchant. But I do think his finishing has improved a lot. And he has grown as a player. That was under Nuno, though. I think that relationship them two had was good. I mean, there's been rumours that he might go to Chelsea or somewhere like that. You know, if he does go, quite nothing about that. But I do want us to keep him because especially sometimes we keep him on the bench and then bring him in like the 60th, 65th minute when teams start to tire. He's got that pace where he can just break down that line and no one can catch him, especially when teams start to tire as well. So that was our advantage sometimes as well. We used to bring him off the bench. Obviously, a lot of people say he used to oil his arms up and that's cheating and that is just one of them. And obviously players used to slide off him and that. People say it's cheating, but he's always done it. But I do rate him a lot. I've met him as well. He's a lovely bloke to speak to. But if he did go, I think I'll be more disappointed than if we lost Neves, to be honest. So yeah.
Fair enough. So obviously earlier you mentioned about the pandemic and everyone coming back together for the football. Will you be going to Molineux this season to watch any of the Leeds games? Have you been before? What's the atmosphere like if you have been? What's it like?
I mean, I've been going all my life since I think the first game I went to, I was about 4 or 5. I've been through the highs, been through the lows. Obviously, when I was in the Premier League years ago, obviously we went all the way down to League One. I was still supporting us in League One. Obviously, we got back into the Championship, had a few hit and miss seasons where we finished like mid-table. And then obviously we had these Chinese owners come in and they transformed the club. We had Nuno come in, obviously won the Championship. I was going to a lot of Championship games as well. When we got into Europe as well, I went to a few Europa League games. The first ever time in my lifetime. I never thought from where it was a few years ago to now, obviously a couple of seasons ago when we got into Europe, that we would get into Europe, but we did, and it was amazing achievement. We went to a few games like in the group stage, like went to Besiktas, when we played Prague as well. Slovan Bratislava, we played them. You know, it's amazing, and I am trying to get a season ticket if I can this season, but if not, I am going to try and go to as many games as I possibly can. So yeah, but yeah, I've been through the highs and lows. I'll go every season as many times as I can. So yeah.
No enough. Have you been to any away games in the Premier League? What's your favourite? If you have, what's the best ground you've been to?
Yeah, I've been to a few. Probably the best local to me. When we played West Brom, been to the Hawthorns. Like, you know, it's nice when you beat your rivals out there. But yeah, it's probably one of the best in terms of rivalries and that. So yeah.
So when you go to the games this season, will you be putting them on your TikTok, on your Instagram? Will you be like vlog of the games? I don't know if that's something you plan to do, or on your YouTube or whatever.
People have asked me with my YouTube and that. Obviously, at the minute, I just put little skits on like we do on TikTok. But people have asked me, would you start doing vlogs and that? And people have said they would want me to start doing that. And potentially, yes. I have got plans for YouTube, potentially in the future. But I also have got what I'm working on at the minute is big plans for my Twitch as well. I have said on previous people have asked me what you're going to do moving forward on other social media platforms as well. I do want to grow on other ones as well, including YouTube. So yeah, there might be some potentially if I start going games and that, I might start doing vlogs and that as well. And in general, if I go on like day-to-day stuff and that, if people want to see that content, then I'll start creating it.
Fair enough. So talking about social media, we'll slide towards that now because obviously that's a big part of obviously how you've grown and stuff on TikTok. We'll leave the football. If Cal or Morgan have got any questions about your YouTube, TikTok, anything, fire away, guys.
I was like, what was the reason behind you starting your TikTok? And obviously, you moved into the sort of area of skits that people would ask you questions and you'd act it out. What got you into that?
I mean, I've been on TikTok for years. I used to just always watch. I'd never thought I would start in a camera, posting videos. I'll be honest with you, I used to be a shy kid when I was back at school and that. So doing something like this was a big step for me. And obviously when January hit, it went to the third lockdown. Boris obviously announced at the beginning of January. And I thought, you know what, this time I am going to start posting on TikTok just for a laugh, just to keep myself entertained really for the lockdown. Especially this one we've recently just had because it was through the winter, so you weren't going to go out as much on your walks because it was freezing cold really, so you'd be in the house more. and just try and entertain people as well. And obviously, all I want, my goal was to hit 1K followers. Obviously, I'll smash that. Yeah, through January, February, it was like a slow process. So I was going like 1K, 3K. And then as soon as March hit, it started going 10, 20, 50K. And I thought, okay, this is going somewhat serious now. And with my Q&A things, the feature come on, I think it was in the February this year. And I thought, let's just give it a go. And then people started to ask me questions, and I just started answering them. And then obviously my famous get out catchphrases, a lot of you guys know. I just said in one of my videos, and people started to catch on it. And then people kept putting in the comment section and kept wanting me to ask similar questions and that. Some of my famous videos are like, what is Kante doing in your fridge? Ones like that. But yeah, it's crazy how fast I've grown. I mean, it took me 3 months to get from 0 to 100K, and it took me 3 weeks to get from 100K to 200K followers. What was crazy. But yeah, it's just been a crazy journey, to be honest. Never thought I'd be in this position.
So outside of obviously using your TikTok, what's your favourite social media to use?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Obviously, I used to, before I started posting on it, I didn't really use TikTok as much. It used to always be like mainly Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube. I used to always watch YouTube a lot. But when I started posting, obviously my notifications started coming up more. And obviously keep posting videos and that, I started getting into TikTok more and started to learn a lot more about obviously your editing stuff on that. And it helped me grow as a person and understand editing more on social media as well. So it helped me use on other platforms as well. So yeah, really is other social medias like Snapchat, Instagram and that. But obviously TikTok's one of the main ones I use now because of the position I'm in.
Do you plan on keeping on with the TikTok? Is that something you see as like a future for you? And obviously you're going to Twitch and stuff. What are you going to do on Twitch? Stream games or?
Well, really, my dream is to become a football coach. That's all since I was 14, I've got into coaching and that. And that's always what I wanted to do. Social media, like TikTok's only meant to be a side thing, really. Well, people have asked me, would you ever ditch your coaching career to go into social media? Probably not at the minute, especially on TikTok. It's not enough. I'm not earning enough at the minute on TikTok, I would say, where I can make a living. But if I did start growing on other social media platforms as well, like for instance, Twitch, maybe I'll start streaming more. If I start earning more money, maybe YouTube, stuff like that. Potentially if I get sponsorship, stuff like that, then maybe I might have to decide over doing my coaching on social media, maybe go towards the social media aspect of it. But at the minute, no, it's still only a side thing.
Okay. Because you're probably the largest TikTok account for a Wolves supporter. Are you expecting any contact? Have you had any contact from the actual football club at all?
Well, I did feature on the official Wolves TikTok page. They used my Get Out sound after the Wolves West Brom game a couple of months ago. So the social media team have obviously already seen my TikToks. I've worked with a freestyler called Ewan, EV Skills, his name is. He does a lot of work with Wolves. He does a lot of work down the goals I work at, so I did a little collab with him at the start of May. There's a few people who work down Wolves I've spoke with, and they're going to try and get me some stuff sorted. Obviously, no restrictions of ease, so I can maybe do some stuff, work with them as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I know I've had contact, obviously, with the social media team. They've got back to me on email, stuff like that, for using my sound and that. So I have briefly had a bit of contact with them, yeah.
So you mentioned before about your coaching and how you enjoy doing that. Have you got any of your coaching badges? Obviously, you get your FA level 1, 2, and 3, is it? And then your UEFA ones. Have you got any badges? Do you coach a team? What do you do with
that? Well, I've got my level 1. I was coaching. I did have my own under-12s team up until last month, actually. I left that team because there was issues in the club. Where I was it was a tough decision, to be honest, because I've been with them nearly 3 years with those called Skyforce. But there's issues within the club, and I didn't want to be stressed out a lot over something that I get paid for, because it's obviously only voluntary. And me being a young coach, it's hard enough being like a young coach as in just helping out, but because I was the manager of the actual team, I'd still feel like the parents, match fees, subs, kits, training. There's a lot for something you don't get paid for. You did feel like having a full-time job. And with issues what happened in the club with the chairman, with some of my assistant managers as well. I just thought I'd just have a break out of it now. I'll go to university September. I'm doing a football coaching and performance degree. So I've got a break out of it now. And to be honest, I can focus on my social media a bit more at the minute now. So I've got that bit more of extra time. Whereas before, it was hard to try and fit everything in, including my work as well. But now I'm not doing any coaching. I can focus on this a bit more. What has helped me, to be honest, I can put a bit more effort into some of my videos I do. I don't know if you guys have seen, but like every Thursday now, every Friday, I go to a different place, local to me at the minute, and just go filming out in the general public videos. I've got that time now, whereas before I didn't have that time to do that. So I'm putting a bit more effort into my content now. But I am looking at potentially going back into, when I go university, into a team and potentially into academies, but we'll see what happens.
Decent, mate. Decent. So what university are you going to? If obviously, if you want to say, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, I'm going to, it's the University of Wolverhampton, but it's the Walsall campus because that's where the sport department is. It's separate. It's not actually in Wolverhampton. It's in obviously the Walsall campus because that's where the sports aspect is on campus. So yeah.
So we're going to be staying there.
Yeah, will you be staying at the university or
right, in the accommodation,
or will you?
Well, the Walsall campus is 20 or 25 minutes down the road from me. So I'll be living at home because financially it'll be a lot cheaper than hiring out, and especially when it's only 20-25 minutes down the road. It's not that far. It'd be different if I was like traveling like 2 hours, then I would obviously live away. But because it's only like 20-25 minutes down the road, I'd thought it'd be easy just to stay at home, and my parents are happy with that as well. And financially, it'll save me a lot of money as well, to be honest.
So I looking forward to uni. What? Obviously, you said you wanted to be a coach, but obviously you don't have to do a degree in coaching to become one. So what made you want to obviously further your chances and do the whole degree on it?
Well, just to get a bit more understanding of it as well. To be honest, I mean, I've just finished college, so I was on a level 3 extended diploma course. So they encourage you to go university more because you've got the chance. Because we was on one of the highest courses at the college, and they wanted us to go. And I was in two minds at the start, but then I wanted to go to university to just get a better understanding and develop myself more as an individual, to gain my confidence more as well. Obviously, TikTok's helped with that as well. I'm a lot more of a confident person now than I was, say, a year ago. Like before, I never thought I'd go on the camera, stuff like this I would never do. But now obviously TikTok's helped with my confidence. And I think that helped me decide to go to university more and develop myself more as well.
Fair enough, mate. So have you two lads got any final questions, or can we wrap that up there? That looks good.
I think I'm good.
Good. Yeah, all right. So thank you guys. Obviously, thank you for watching, whether you're listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe or follow whatever it is on Spotify. Like it, and obviously share the video about. So yeah, cheers. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.
Cheers.